Hey guys, AuspiciousAussie here, and welcome to episode 58 of Local to Global here with the Canadian Wrestling Coalition. So, wanted to kick things off. Basically, we had this come up or pretty much at the end of last episode, and that was High Flying Hawaiian. His contract is running out with SWF. We've signed a lot of people recently. However, with our developmental territory now being created, or developmental company, I guess you should call it, I'm kind of thinking that we do have a little bit of room. Then again, a lot of the guys we sort of sent down weren't really used, and they're kind of our younger, for lack of a better term, jobbers. But I think at this point, 32 years old, we can't really... I didn't mean to click finances. We can't really pass up the opportunity. It's also worth mentioning that they're not actually negotiating with him, or at least I don't think they are. And as you can see here, there is no other offer. So at the moment, it looks like it's just going to be us, but I'm going to probably assume that somebody else will come in at some stage. They want $27,600. We'll go 8 years, which will make him 40 years old when his contract runs out. I feel like that's long enough. That's kind of, by the age of about 40, if they're already in time decline, it kind of means that they're, even during time decline, their stamina will still be, relatively good in regards to being able to put on sort of 16 to 20 minute matches, which is the sort of ideal length that we like to go for. And as you can see, we did really well with the pay-per-view. It's also worth mentioning, we are 85 popularity. If you didn't watch the last episode, I would recommend going back. It was obviously a pay-per-view episode, so we did quite a bit. Like I said, we also created our developmental company, which I'll show you right now. And as you can see, we have OWC. I'm probably not going to make a logo for it. Don't really see the need for a logo, but we've got Brian Holmes and Joey Poison in charge. We've got Holmes as the CEO, and then Joey Poison, who has really good booking stats there. His skill's very high. He's our head booker for the developmental company. And I'm kind of hoping that this roster will fill out a little bit more. Because obviously we've got a lot of our guys there. We did send Zach Powerson down as well, to try and just, hope and pray his psychology will get up to a pretty decent level. Anyway, enough about that. Let's actually just get into the next show. Of course, we've got to tweak a few storylines and possibly add a few new ones in there as well. Haven't really put any real thought to it, but obviously we've got Logan Wolfsbane taking on Mobstar for the Unified World title. We are still going to, I guess, continue with the Aussie Goldstein Aldous Blackfriar sort of storyline that we had going on as well. I feel like that one, it's going to be very interesting. These first two shows in the episode are going to really kind of, I guess, fill you guys in on what's going to happen in regards to those, or to that one in particular storyline. And I feel like it's an interesting way for us to go about things. I feel like, Island Boy Apollo as well. I think we have to get both of them. I think they could actually be a really, really good tag team. They're both obviously pretty incredible as it is, in terms of their in-ring. Island Boy's a little bit lower with the star quality. But then again, he might actually be better because he has 79 brawling. So, relatively the same popularity as well. So let's bring him in as well. GSW only going for a handshake deal, which is pretty smart. I think his current contract, yeah, so they had him on an exclusive written contract, but obviously I've kind of shown you guys the finances for GSW, and it is looking pretty dreadful for them. So I think we'll just go a 6-year contract here and try and just get it done. So he wants 20,400. As long as no one else comes in, that's looking like a pretty cheap contract as well for him. Ooh. Is he in time decline? I'm not sure if he's in time decline. He's only 34 years old, so I would kind of assume he's not in time decline. But you just never know. Hmm. Okay, well let's do it. We'll still go 6 years. I mean, at the worst, we can, just use him in a tag division once he's a little bit older as well. Still wants 20,400 though, despite that lowered availability. Okay, well there we go. That was exclusive written, yes? Yes, I've always got to make sure. Probably double check the other one. But yeah, the other email there was David Stone, so I'm assuming David's here now. And we've got some interesting stuff with him as well. So let's get into this first show. We've got a lot of sort of storytelling stuff we need to work through on this one. We have a backstage incident here. Just wrestlers caught there for Alton Vicious. Getting a small positive impact as well from Angry Gilmore. Our resident judge for Wrestlers Court. Again, we're just going to go with Maddie Faith, Giant Brody. Hope and pray that we get some positive. Yeah, there we go. Perfect. All right, that makes me happy. That's a positive. Successful meddling. They have no negative relationship at all. Obviously, both those guys are going to be pretty important in the grand scheme of things. Okay, so tonight's main event. Not really 100% sure what I want to do for the main event itself. Alright, so what I think I want to do for this main event, actually. Let's go Aldous Blackfriar taking on Mainstream Hernandez. We haven't really used Hernandez much. So I think this will be a good opportunity to put him into the main event. Now, what's going to happen in this match? Well, something very, very strange and very interesting is going to happen. And we're going to have an interference. Actually, let's have it be the finish. Ozzy Goldstein is going to attack Mainstream Hernandez. Very strange. Obviously, Aldous beat Goldstein at the pay-per-view, so did some of his darkness sort of transfer into Goldstein? Possible, but we're not going to find out just yet. All right. Anyway, let's book the rest of the show. Actually, we'll do storylines first. I think we can change this one. Let's get rid of Alton. Let's get rid of Riddick. And basically, we are going to have a fatal four-way. So we're going to have essentially, 4 different teams in here. However, the Northern Lights are not going to be one of the teams. All right, so the LA Stars are going to be in there. Do we have the crew? Yeah, we have the crew. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to end this storyline because obviously we have to add in a new storyline as well for the world title again, which we'll do here in a second. Let's also take out Young and Wasted. They're going to be involved in this fatal four-way sort of scenario. If I can find them. So Brett. And we need Taylor as well. All right. And the final team is also going to be Papa Swole and Public Enemy. So I feel like they're kind of our quote-unquote best 4 teams. I mean, you could maybe throw in the Rock City Stars, but I think they are kind of getting a little bit past it. They're almost a little bit past their use-by date. And their stamina is both dropping as well. Yeah. Let's just go back to the actual storyline page. Alright, so that one's sorted out. Don't really know what I'm going to do with this. We might end that one as well. This one can stay how it is at the moment. Although, you know what? We need to add in someone for... Let's go Patriot. Now, Patriot's obviously involved in his own sort of weird little side storyline, but I feel like actually, you know what? Let's remove him because Patriot, he's kind of, I guess in storyline terms, he's had a heel turn recently. Kind of need someone who is a bit of a face. The only one that actually kind of stands out is Angry Gilmore. Hawking maybe. We'll go Hawking. It's kind of a good impromptu little side storyline. Push for Canada, that's going to stay how it is. This one we are going to end as well. Actually, the thing is, do I want to end that? Let's just take Logan out. And we'll rename this one as well. Let's rename it as The Faith is Broken. So Maddie's lost his faith. That's probably actually a better storyline name. But The Faith is Broken. And then we need to add our world title. So let's just go Unified World Title. Basic, simple, but at least we know what it is. Anyway, like I said last episode, this match between Logan and Mobstar could easily be our best ever match. So I think everything there's pretty good. I mean, maybe we do Davis versus Princeton. Yeah, I kind of like that. And then maybe Maddie Faith versus probably the Patriots or Mainstream Hernandez. Let's go Hernandez. Because, he's now been here for like, what, 3 weeks to a month. We kind of need something for him to do. So we'll go with that. Let's call this one the Prince. The Prince of the Coalition. If I can spell it properly. There we go. Alright, the Prince of the Coalition. And obviously Princeton Price taking on the GOAT. I guess you could call him maybe the king. The king of the CWC, the Coalition. Anyway, let's go to Brampton for this show. And I think we can comfortably book the rest of these matches. So what I want to do, pretty simple, pretty easy. We're going to have one competitor from each tag team in this match. So let's go LA Star 1. Let's go Public Enemy. And then let's go for Stevie P in this one. And honestly, I think we have to give the victory to Brett Kyle. I know they're coming off a loss, him and Taylor. But honestly, I mean, I can't really not put the tag team titles back on them at some stage. Like, these two guys, absolutely incredible. The matches, in the last 2 episodes that they've been putting on, just outstanding. I know they've had really good competitors, sort of like, not carrying them, but like lifting them up a little bit more. But very, very impressive. And I know a lot of you guys are very impressed with them as well. So we're going to do the sort of reverse Fatal 4-Way of all the other competitors in there as well. I want to have Charlie Corner take on Graham Gorman. To try and give Graham another victory back because he did lose at the pay-per-view in that Canadian title match. But we are still running with it. And we're still waiting for Brody to get back from his injury. But that will be pretty soon. Maybe next episode, I think he comes back. So I'm kind of looking forward to that. I wanted Brody to be the sort of focal point of the storyline. And I feel like he's kind of almost taken a bit of a back seat, if you will. Anyway, this next match here, we're going to go for Blue Dragon and Masked Patriot. And they're going to take on the Northern Lights would be a decent opponent. They also gained some pretty decent popularity in that last episode as well. So starting to, I guess, get themselves out of the sort of jobber zone in regards to popularity is always a nice thing. All right, let's make this the storytelling match as well. Okay. Now, we do need a... Actually, instead of giving... what's his name? David Stone. Instead of giving him an actual match on this first show, I think we'll just give him an angle. Now, his entertainment stats aren't the best, but if we script it, it should be alright, and hopefully we can get that up to, or his popularity up to 70. That'd be pretty decent before his first match. And I do have an opponent in mind. Not sure how well it will go down, though. That's the kind of risky thing, if you will. One thing I will do, we are going to have a main event angle. So let's have Mobstar and Logan. They are both going to be speaking in this one, kicking their storyline off with a bit of success for both of them. Unscripted. And we shall see how this sort of angle is going to go down. We do still have a few more sort of matches to book, or at least, what are we at? 4. Let's go one more match. Who do I want to use though? That's a good question. Maddie Faith could probably just have a match, maybe. Let's go a 6-man, and we'll use Faith No More. So let's chuck in the Rock City Stars alongside Maddie Faith, and they can take on... Let's go Willie... Oops, didn't mean to do that. Brian Turner there. Let's go Willie the Roo, Uterasono, and Jack Pride onto this team. Jack Pride's another one I was kind of thinking about maybe sending down to the developmental. Just purely for the fact that he needs a lot of work on his psychology still. And the fact that I haven't really been using him very well, his psychology is not growing. So I think it might be a good idea to send him down. The fact that he has lower psychology than Powerson has me pretty worried. Not gonna lie. Anyway, let's not call this one in the ring. Let's go scripted, decisive, and that can kick off the show, I think. Yeah, so what we'll do, we'll have an angle, just Maddie Faith by himself. Just a simple angle by himself, there we go. No storyline attachment yet, because we'll kick that off. Alright, so now that we've got Maddie Faith sorted out, do I want to do anything for Patriot? I mean, he can cut an angle pretty well. Can Blue Dragon? I don't think Blue Dragon can. Yeah, he's pretty bad. Wonder if it would actually be worth him just being in the angles alongside Patriot. Let's maybe do that. Let's try that, because it would be pretty cool for Blue Dragon to start to develop his entertainment skills. So yeah, I think we may as well just give it a try at least a few times and just, I don't know, just see if it sticks and see if he actually gains any sort of improvement. Up next, let's have Gary Walker. I want Gary to essentially taunt Graham Gorman. Graham's going to be off screen, and it's kind of going to be like a bit of a backstage sort of, I guess, angle promo type deal. But it's purely just going to be for our current Canadian champion, Gary Walker, to, take a few jabs at the fact that he beat him at the pay-per-view. And he's, I guess, technically he's no longer the #1 contender. Up next, I think we maybe just go, you know what, let's just go all out. Let's literally go, actually, we should probably start with the current tag team champion, so let's go with the Moneymakers, and then let's just put everybody else in the angle. So, Brett, Taylor, Papa Swole, Public Enemy, and who's the other competitors? LA Stars. Alright. Let's literally go everybody on entertainment. I know some of them are better than the others. I guess the only downside is I can't script it. You know what? I'm going to do... Papa Swole is not going to be rated. Purely for the fact that I literally want to script everybody else. And I literally just don't want to have to not script them. Because I'd obviously much prefer Papa Swole to be talking in the angle. We also want it to be a proper 8 minutes long. You know what? I'm actually going to give this main event angle 10 minutes. I don't think I've ever really... Oh, I hate it when I mess up like that. Anyway, easy fix, luckily. There we go. But yeah, 10 minutes for that main event angle. Hopefully it will get a 100. I don't see why it wouldn't, if we're being honest. Unless maybe their scripting messes them up and they get the penalty for that. Anyway, let's put this angle down by where it needs to be. Which is there. And then our final angle is simply going to be... I don't know why I did Brett Kyle then. It's going to be Aldous and Aussie. And that's it. Both on entertainment. And yeah, they're essentially going to... they're going to be arguing with each other. So you can kind of see that he's not fully corrupt yet by the darkness. But there are some sort of definite, you know, I guess, I don't know, what would the best word be? There's some definite fragilities, I guess, in the mind of Aussie Goldstein. I want to keep that 10 minutes, so let's just lower this one by a minute. Alright, there we go. So that'll go pre-main event. Obviously, we have the post-main event angle as well, which is nice. Alright. Yeah, that looks pretty good. What is our booking problem? Yeah, Public Enemy being used far too much. And I guess I can reduce that back down and then go an extra minute there. That kind of fixes the problem. And chuck... where is it? This match, I guess. Chuck that one back up to 12. There we go. But we still have them both being used far too much. Okay, so, alright, we're going to have to, yeah, scrap this. Let's go LA Star 1, LA Star 2, and then basically we're just going to leave them out of the angle, which is unfortunate, but it's going to have to happen, I guess. Kind of sucks, but I mean, the big issue, I guess, is this one as well. So I'm going to have to lower that by 2 and then lower that by 2 as well. It's literally still being used too much on the show, but hopefully there won't be an actual problem with it. We can actually give this one back 2 minutes. Okay. Hopefully that solved the problem. There we go. All right. Pre-show. What do we got on the pre-show? Let's use the Golden Goats to take on Forces of Darkness. 5 is the sort of jobber pairing, I guess, if you will. Let's have Davis get the win. Obviously, Davis and Princeton. I'll find something for them to do. We'll have to call it as well. All right, so that'll be on the pre-show, and then I think we'll try and go another quick pre-show tag match. Let's go Logan, and he can team up with... I was gonna go David Stone, but we won't. We'll go Angry Gilmore to take on Chip Martin and Zippy Deverell, I guess. Yeah. I mean, it works. Or at least it will work. Anyway, because it's the pre-show, we'll give Angry the win there. If we can. Yeah, definitely needs to be scripted as well on the pre-show. And knew that was going to be an issue. Give it to Robinson. Obviously, Robinson's my actual character in the game. Alright, let's run the show. Alright, we started with a 75 rated pre-show match. We have Logan Wolfsbane and Angry Gilmore defeating Chip Martin and Zippy Deverell in 9:45. when Angry Gilmore pinned Chip Martin, with an anger management. Of course, Logan Wolfsbane, head and shoulders above everybody else with a 95 in-ring performance. Yeah. Pretty good. Second pre-show match, getting us an 80 rating on the pre-show. We have the Golden Goats defeating Disciples of Darkness 5 in 12-17 when Davis submitted Original Sinner with an STF. Davis head and shoulders above everybody else, and Sinner being the weak link. And yeah, another 95 on the pre-show, this time by Davis. Very impressive for our pre-show. Anyway, we then kick off the TV show with a 93 rated angle, just from Matty Faith by himself, prior to his 6-man tag stable match. And he looks a little bit down in the dumps, does Matty Faith. He feels like it was his big opportunity to become the #1 contender against Logan Wolfsbane. And he did indeed fall short. He lost the match. The hot streak came to an end. And as such, he's, I guess, left a little bit... Not exactly, he's not alone, because obviously he has stablemates. But he might have, lost his true confidence that he had in himself prior to that match taking place. And Matty's, is obviously that sort of arrogant, confident, has a decent ego on him. But, can also back it up. He's very talented, very good on the microphone, as we can see here. And yeah. Unfortunately, the announcing from Lee Bambino was very bad. But Matty did a masterful job improvising interactions. The 6-man tag getting us a 63 rating here, where we have Faith No More defeating Willie LaRue, Yuta Usono, and Primetime Jack Pride. In 11:32, when Matty Faith pinned Yuta Usono with a Faith Falls Eternal. And obviously, Matty head and shoulders above everybody else. And Rock and Ryan Turner seemed off his game. Good match. We then go into a 64 rated angle from Mars Patriot. And of course, Blue Dragon in there as well. Yeah, Patriot enjoying having the freedom go off script. Basically just, the usual shtick. Their anti-Canada sort of Team America, if you will. And yeah, just talking badly to the Canadian crowd in Brampton. And just trying to get some heat on themselves. We then go into a 64 rated tag team match where we have Mars Patriot and Blue Dragon defeating the Northern Lights in 9:39 when Blue Dragon pinned Riddick Jordan with a Dragon Driver. Patriot carrying the match. And yeah, just a good tag team match. Unfortunately for the Northern Lights, their sort of mini push that I gave them now coming to an end. Until we really try and get them over a little bit more. But yeah, so it's still a really good match for some sort of lower down the card competitors. And then, a pretty solid mid-carder in Mars Patriot. Okay, we then go into a 93. Yes, 93 rated angle for our current mid-card champion, Mr. Gary Walker. And like I said, he's, taunting Graham Gorman backstage. Obviously, Graham losing the match for the Canadian title. And Gary's just, talking smack, as you would expect him to, being the evil sort of heel that he is at the moment. A very drastic contrast of the 100% babyface you would kind of expect Gary Walker to actually be. Anyway, that's a very, very good, high-rated angle. Very impressive. All right, we then go into Graham's match, where we have a 74 rating here, which is very impressive, considering who his opponent is. But we do have Graham Gorman defeating Charlie Corner, which is the surprising part, in 12:30 by pinfall with a Gorman aghast. Yeah, Charlie doing some decent work out there, man. That's very impressive from him. His linking up with Matty Faith has done a masterful job of getting him not only increasing in, well, I was going to say over, but he's increasing in popularity. He's at a relatively good level as well. But in the ring, the more we've used him, he's actually starting to turn into a pretty... He was a decent wrestler, but now he's actually, improving to that level that we need him to be in order to actually use him as a proper mid-carder. Anyway, good match. We then go into a 70 rated angle for 3 of our 4 teams. Obviously, all of them sort of arguing with each other, who deserves to be the #1 contender. Obviously, the Moneymakers don't really want to make a decision. Young Wasted say they have a victory over the Golden Goats. LA Stars come out, say they have a victory over the Crew. And the Crew are the only ones that are left out. But they are going to be involved. Solid 70. Everyone's scripted as well, which is nice. So it's good to see the tag division still holding their own. I do like to see a lot. The Fatal 4-Way match getting a 72, which is probably a little bit higher than I expected. LA Stars kind of the only, I guess, quote-unquote better tag team worker in this match. Everyone else is kind of a little bit worse, or a lot worse in some cases, than their actual tag team partner. So it's pretty interesting. But we do indeed have Brett Kyle defeating LA Star 1, Public Enemy, and Stephen Parker in 10:06, when Brett Kyle pinned Public Enemy with a shooting star press. Just a really good match all round. Very, very happy with that one. Both Brett Kyle and Stephen Parker getting 68 in-ring performances there. Quite impressive. Alright, we then go into the pre-main event, getting us a 99 rating, which is very, very close. And as you can see, was probably only held back from the 100 rated angle by Lee Bambino on the announce table. But as you can see, all this and Goldstein talking backstage in the same room without coming to blows. And Aldous kind of alludes to the fact that, the darkness is starting to take hold in Goldstein's, I guess his heart, maybe, or his mind. His mind is being corrupted by the darkness. Let's go with his mind. His heart might still be gold. I don't know. Let's just say his heart's still gold, but his mind has faded away to the darkness. I like that. And the main event, a very impressive main event here, considering, Hernandez is in time decline. He's also not very popular, to be honest. We're going to try and get him over. Hopefully this will do a decent little job. We get an 87 rated main event match here, where we have Aldous Blackfriar defeating Mainstream Hernandez in 1951 by pinfall with a super kick, following interference from Ozzy Goldstein. A very solid 87 in-ring, so I would have to say it was pretty much Aldous carrying this match, as you would expect with his popularity. And I guess his talent as well kind of would shine through. But yeah, very good match. And of course, it actually advances the storyline as well between Ozzy, Aldous, and Matt Hocking. So positive there. Lots of positives. Like I said, the Hernandez potential popularity growth as a result of this match as well. So yeah. Anyway, we're going to finish the show with that big 10-minute angle. Does pretty well. It gets a 97, so that's obviously going to help out the overall show rating quite a lot. We have Mobstar and Logan confronting each other in the ring post-main event. And, Logan says that the time is now. It is now his opportunity. He never won the Unified World title back in the day when he was first with the Coalition prior to leaving for a sort of national company in America. He says he's returned to Canada and he wants to become the world champion. Mobstar, I guess maybe it's a contract signing. I probably should have put someone else in the angle. But let's pretend this is a contract signing. And obviously there's going to be a little bit of talking involved as well. Mobstar agrees, puts his name on the dotted line, and says that he cannot wait. And he says that him and Logan, they're going to tear skin off each other, and they're going to tear the absolute house down and get the job done. And Mobstar's going to make sure that he stays the unified world champion, I guess. Anyway, end the show. We get an 88. So a very solid show there. Good first TV show of the episode. But as you can see, only in 55 regions did we gain popularity, because we need to get above 90s, basically, to actually gain popularity in Ontario from now on. So, yeah, one other thing we need to do, we need to change the developmental, because I did have a few good suggestions with that one as well. The suggestion was to change the booking on it, so make all 4 shows be taped at once. We'll save a little bit of money. Not that it's a big issue or anything like that, but okay, so we're still gonna win that contract. Perfect. Viewing figures, we're up to 2.13, which is up quite a bit. We're well over the 1.6 million, nearly over by 2,000. Pretty good. About 80,000 viewers there for OnDam as well. So pretty happy with that. Pretty happy with that. Anyway, the one thing I also want to look at in regards to size, as you can see, we're almost at 77 in Quebec. And of course, we only need 77 in 5 regions. And we're getting close. Alberta's going to be the last one there. But you know what? Saskatchewan's almost at 60. Manitoba's at 73. Looking pretty good. The US is also looking real good. We're, over 50s in every region apart from Puerto Rico and Hawaii. So that's good as well. We got 63 in the tri-state. So it's pretty funny. We got 63 in the tri-state. But yet in Canada, we only have 53 in Alberta and Saskatchewan. So very strange to have that sort of level of popularity in a different country, but not in your own. But anyway, Mexico's also starting to get up there. We're getting pretty close to that pay-per-view deal. So I'm really looking forward to. And of course, it's only going to be extra revenue coming in as well. Very positive. But yeah, let's have a look at the developmental. Don't need to look at that. What did I need to look at? I needed to look at... I'm going to change the ticket pricing back to normal. I think that was a bit of a mistake for me. Basically, we want the shows to be, I guess, not losing us money. It doesn't really matter too much. But the popularity of the company really doesn't matter all that much either, to be honest. It's going to gradually go up anyway. And of course, they are going to be having their own... I wonder, could we... So these have all gone dormant. But I'm kind of wondering, could I actually make them... Or is the AI going to keep them dormant from now on? I would like them to have 5 shows per month, if that makes sense. But obviously, I did this last episode, and I guess the AI has actually made them all go dormant. So it'll be an interesting sort of test. I don't really understand why it's made them all dormant. I'm not sure. If you guys know, let me know down in the comments if I'm doing something wrong with maybe our schedule, the way that I've done it. If there's a way to have, TV show and run the events sort of at the end of the month. Because that was what I wanted to go for, and we kind of had it set up like that at the end of last episode, but looking at it again, they've all gone dormant. So anyway, what did I need to do? We needed to modify a TV show, take 4 shows at a time, and they're going to be on Tuesdays from now on. And I think we need to actually change every... I'll actually do this off camera. But basically, I'll change all of the events. So let me start with May. I'm going to change them to a Sunday, just so it won't conflict with our current schedule, if that makes sense. Hopefully it makes sense. Anyway, basically what I mean to say is, obviously, all of our pay-per-views for CWC are on Saturday, except for, that one double show that we run. It is Warzone, isn't it? Yeah, so Warzone's the only show on Sunday, and that's fine if that's double booked, because realistically, we're not going to be using any of the sort of younger jobbers on the show. So Not an issue. Anyway, let's advance. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna spend some money. I've had, a couple of comments about spending money. Obviously, I feel like we did spend a decent amount last episode. We spent what? Nearly 2.8 million. So we'll spend some more money. I like to keep the money pretty high because I don't like to risk anything. But let's invest in our broadcaster. Let's upgrade it. And I think the smartest thing to do is to go in Mexico, because we are that close to getting the pay-per-view deal. So I think if we at least go up to medium, as you can see, Mexico's really cheap. Really cheap. I mean, we could essentially go up to big size in Mexico, and it's only going to cost us another 5 million on top of what we already just did. And I mean, we only spent 3 million just then. 3.2 million, there or thereabouts. But we'll keep it at medium for now. But that's going to help out with the next 3 TV shows, and then of course we'll actually get coverage in Mexico for the pay-per-views from now on as well, which we were missing out on. So the only way, obviously, due to our pay-per-view deal, we only have U-Demand for America and Canada One Choice for Canada. So we want to get that coverage there in Mexico as well. Just going to help it out a little bit. Anyway, let's advance to the next show. We've got Monomaniacal there again, who I was kind of talking about bringing in, possibly to join up with Gary Walker as his sort of chimp next to him. Monkey, whatever you want to call it. Still undecided. Still undecided. Anyway, I'm going to take a quick sip of water here. Poor Wicked Lester. I miss that guy. I really do miss him. He was a nice little stable member. He's the Dark Prince of the Death Match. So there we go. Alrighty, what do we got here? High Flying Hawaiian. Alrighty, there we go. 22 days. And we are still waiting for Island Boy Apollo. Moriarty Schnell. I had him on my TCW save as well. Him and Willie LaRue were a tag team. Could bring him in again. I don't know. Do I need to bring him in? I feel like we've just got such a big roster now. You know, Island Boy Apollo's coming in as well. You know what? We'll leave him. We'll leave him down there in SWF. That's fine. I mean, he's hopefully going to keep developing there. He looks like he's done pretty well so far. And we might, kind of overlook him sometimes otherwise. Anyway, what do we got left? We've got John Greed offering to put over Jack Jackson. So I want to make sure I use that for this show. Let's get into that. I'll book that match straight away. Then I have to think of a main event. So I did want to do David Stone. Do we go David Stone versus Maddie Faith? I mean, that could be an interesting... I guess an interesting way to maybe even get David over. David could win that match. I would not be against him actually winning. But here is Island Boy Apollo coming in as well. So both him and High Flying Hawaiian are going to be in the company at about the same time, which is pretty good. Wow. Jason Azaria. He's somehow losing his announcing stat. Very strange. Anyway, we're not gonna sign him. But Nuki Brown looks pretty good. I know he's one half of a tag team, the Magic Boys. kind of wondering, should we sign him in the hope that his tag team partner will also become available pretty soon? What's his tag team? All right, Kingsley Christopher. Let's look up Kingsley, see how long he's got on his contract, because that'll be pretty interesting. Kingsley Christopher. See, he's got 1 year, 1 month. Is he any good? He's actually really good. You know what? I think we're gonna sign him because I like this guy. I like them as a tag team together, the Magic Boys. So let's go sign his tag team partner. I don't like his name though. Is it Nuki? Nukui? Yeah. I think it's probably, see, in Australia you would say QAY as key. So Nuki. But honestly I have no idea how to pronounce it. Anyway, we'll sign him. Sign him in the hopes that we can eventually sign his tag team partner down the line. It's also kind of screwing over SWF once again. And you know what? I like to do that, so let's do it. Gonna want 15k, but there we go. Wait, what? We wouldn't even be number 1 with a $15,000 offer? Are they giving bonus? Yeah, 20%. Okay. Let me try 10% with that price. Maybe 5% merchandise. Okay, there we go. All right. Luckily, you know, we would have to give him $15,000 anyway. But the fact that we're giving him actually a little bit less bonus kind of makes that a little bit better for us. So I like it. I don't really like him, to be honest. I might actually put him down in developmental. Now that I think about it, because I'm honestly, when I'm not going to use him for the next year until we can sign his tag team partner. So I don't know. It kind of makes sense for us to chuck him down. All right, there we go. Send you down to OWC. There we go. 27 days. Looks like L-Ring are about to collapse. But we already have over 20 popularity, so we don't even need to, acquire them, if you will. Alrighty, let's just keep advancing. I want to get into this second show here. Now, I always want to try and get through these episodes without them, going longer than an hour and a half. I just want to say thank you for, all the support recently, guys. I mean, every Local Global episode is getting over 150 views within about a day and a half. So that's impressive. And I just want to, give you guys a shout out, the viewers, especially the commenters as well. If you haven't commented before on a video, you have suggestions, please make sure you drop a comment down below. I respond to every comment, and I definitely take, your feedback into mind when making decisions. I'm not going to, use every suggestion everybody ever gives me, but at the same time, if you have a good enough idea, more than likely I'll probably use it, and you guys will see or at least my sort of booking with your ideas, and it might not be as good as you would probably hope, but I do my best. Anyway, let's once again go back to the old faithful. Actually, he's not here, so never mind. I'm pretty sure he's absent. Yes, he is. Still with Pride Glory. Anyway, let's go to Hamilton for tonight's show. 15,800 fans. But that is if we use everybody that we should be using. So let's do that first match I wanted to do. John Greed and Jack Jackson. Not exactly anything special. We might have to actually do 10-minute matches. John Greed. You know what? We'll stick to 12. I just exited out of the whole thing, as I like to do sometimes. So that was John Greed, Jack Jackson, Big win for Jackson. Probably get a decent little amount of popularity as a result of this victory as well. He might be sort of getting in line for a title shot at the Canadian title pretty soon. And the main event, let's go big. You know what? David Stone taking on Matty Faith. I'm really frustrated with Matty Faith and his morale issues. The fact that he's 85 popularity really makes me want to protect him. I'm going to keep him strong. It's going to affect the main event rating, but at the same time, I don't want him to lose popularity. And if he does lose some, I don't want it to be, I want it to be like 1 point, if possible. It is going to be a tainted victory, and it's, once again, going to have some outside interference finish. However, this time, it's not going to be Faith No More. It's going to be the newest stable in the company. You might be wondering, who is in this stable? We have Taylor Norton. We have Brett Kyle. It's not going to be the finish. Let's go to a distraction by Brett. And they're going to be the first 2 members of a possible 4-man stable. And we shall reveal their name on the next TV show of the episode. So the last one, just to get you guys, to continue watching, and get you guys to watch that last TV show. But that's a pretty big main event. That's a pretty big loss for Matty Faith, and a big win, big debut victory as well for David Stone. Of course, the future of Canadian wrestling. All right, the rest of the show, we've got the other Fatal 4-Way match that I mentioned between tag team competitors. So it's going to be... where are they? Let's go... LA Star 2 can go in there. We've got... Where is he? Jackpot Jordan. Almost said Jackson then. Because I'm so used to clicking on his name. Who else have we got? We've got Papa Swole. And we have Taylor Norton. Alright, so the winner of this one, going to be one half of our tag team champions. Can't really go past Jackpot for this one, so yeah, he's going to get the win. Going to be a good match. I like that one as well. Obviously, kind of the stronger competitors, apart from LA Star 2, but LA Star 2 has more popularity than LA Star 1, so it kind of works. We're going to also have another match here. This match could be the main event, so I want to throw that out there. But let's have Logan Wolfsbane, and he's going to team up with... Didn't really think about who he was going to team up with. Maybe Angry Gilmore, because we did that in the pre-show. So let's do that again. At least we know there's no negative chemistry. And what they can do is take on Mobstar and Public Enemy. Now, where it's going to get a little bit dicey is the fact that I'm going to have Mobstar's team lose. Obviously, in this scenario, you don't really want anyone to lose. Well, obviously, Public Enemy doesn't matter. Angry Gilmore, to a lesser extent, doesn't really matter either. But obviously, Mobstar taking a loss is pretty bad, even though he's not actually, taking the pinfall. But we're going to keep him strong as well in this one, in the hopes that he also doesn't lose any popularity, because, I mean, if he does, then it's not going to be good. We might even make it... No, we'll make it decisive. I was going to go tainted, but I don't want to have too many tainted victories. And we also want to have some, decent high-level matches in these TV shows. Now, final match. Let's go a... what do I want to do? Let's go a Blue Dragon Canadian title match. Yeah. So, Gary Walker taking on Blue Dragon. This one is going to have a tainted finish, just because it is Actually, you know what? We'll go decisive. We'll go decisive on this one. But let's have a... Let's have... Yeah, let's... Yeah, we'll go with Graham at ringside. One other thing, Grace Harper, we still have her under contract. But what I think I might try and do with her is we might send her down to OWC. Because they need a color I think they need a color commentator. So let's grab her. So Grace. Okay, never mind. We'll send it down after we finish the show. But let's go angles. Let's go Maddie Faith. And I guess he can actually cut onto David Stone before their match actually starts. Maybe this would have been a good storyline for Maddie to be involved in. Actually, you know what? Maybe we will change that. I'll put David Stone in there. It'll be David Stone versus Maddie Faith. For the Faith is Broken. I kind of like that, so we'll do that instead. Because technically, we didn't actually start the storyline. Let's take Hernandez out of there. And let's actually add in Mr. David Stone. Kind of fits a little bit better, especially with what we're doing right now. We can always put Maddie and Hernandez together at some other stage as well. Okay, we then need another angle. This one with David Stone. And then, of course, Brett. Actually, you know what? We won't do that. We'll save that for the last TV show. When we actually reveal their proper name. So, we'll do that. What else? Let's go a Jack Jackson angle as well. Just by himself. I think we really need to try and get him over. And he definitely has the capability of doing that as well. Let's go a Gary Walker. Let's actually do an interview for Gary Walker. Let's take Jurian off there. Let's have Jurian do our interview for Gary. Let's go microphone for you, entertainment for you. And I guess we'll put Graham in there as well. Off screen, of course. And obviously some success there for Gary. And that will, once again, advance this storyline. And that'll, I guess, air prior to Blue Dragon's match. You know what? I might actually swap these around. We'll have that one go on first, like the big Crew versus Logan and Gilmore match. And I think for that one, let's go Logan and Angry Gilmore cutting a promo together prior to the start of their match. Hopefully, it'll boost up Angry Gilmore's popularity a little bit. Because it has been pretty low recently. You know, because we kind of jobbed him out to Maddie Faith. Still 79 is not terrible. But obviously a lot lower than the 87 he once had. I like it. I like it. Alright, what else are we doing? I mean, that's pretty much it. You know what? We might squeeze another match in here somewhere. Got another tag team match, and let's have the Goats take on Princeton and kind of just looking through, no one's really standing out to me. Yeah, like literally no one is standing out right now. Which is not a good sign. I guess maybe our roster could be a little bit bigger. We'll go Willie LaRue. We'll go with Sono. We'll go with, actually, no, I take it back. We'll go Jack Pride. Jack Pride needs the psychology. So we've got to try and give it to him. Anyway, Davis will get the win. And again, we continue. Actually, you know what? Let's go the win. The win can go to Zeus. And we'll make the loser, obviously, Jack. That works better. That works better. And then we'll chuck that, I think, between these matches. And yeah, we're good to go. So no angle for Forces of Darkness here, but they'll have their angle on the next show. And we'll also have another pretty big reveal, which I'm liking. Actually, you know what? I'm going to save the reveal for next episode at the pay-per-view. And I think that should be pretty good. Yeah, let's do that. All right, so we need a storytelling match, and then we're good to go. Let's just go the Canadian title match. Will be storytelling. And then we'll book a couple of pre-shows. Nothing too serious. Let's go Graham Gorman and Aldous. Actually, we'll go Aldous and Mutant because we need to build up their sort of tag team experience together. They can take on Chip Martin and maybe LA Star 1. Obviously not a great loss for LA Star 1 to have, but at the same time, it's good that we put him in more matches. He is still pretty young. He's only like 20... I think he's 26, and LA Star 2 is 27, I believe. All right, so there's them. Let's go a 6-man, and we're going to go with Goldstein, and he's going to team up with Disciples of Darkness, and then I guess they can just take on Los Hermanos, or Brothers for Life, if you will. A nice little victory for them. We'll give Goldstein the win because he probably needs a little bit of momentum coming off as well. Obviously, we're calling the match. It doesn't matter. It's on the pre-show. 3 people in the match can't call, but it's fine. There we go. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's run the show. Run the show. I'm looking forward to this main event. It kind of sucks that I'm keeping Matty strong, and he also has the morale issues. Because if he didn't have those, it would be just that little bit better. Hopefully, it's an 85 though. That would be real nice. Anyway, we start the show off with a 64 rated 6-man pre-show match. We have Aussie Goldstein and Disciples of Darkness 5 defeating Brothers for Life in 11:32 when Aussie Goldstein pinned Louise Frost with a golden shower. And obviously, Aussie head and shoulders above everybody else in the match. Good stuff from him. We get our psychology penalties, or warnings, I guess. And the second pre-show match getting us a 75 here. We have Disciples of Darkness 3 defeating Chip Martin and LA Star 1 in 12:26 when Mutant pinned Chip Martin with the Tina Turner. Obviously, Aldous head and shoulders above... Trying to speak too fast. Everybody else in the match. Need to take another sip of water here. Alright, that's better. Alright, we then start off the TV show with a 99 rated angle here. Obviously, it's Logan. It's Angry Gilmore. What do you really expect? But these angles will hopefully boost Angry Gilmore back up. Pretty funny. Logan actually did not do well without a script to follow, which I find pretty funny because it's still a 99. Like, I'm wondering if that was at least neutral, like it was for Angry, probably would have been a 100. There we go. It also got penalized for announcing, so maybe it was the announcing quality. Who knows? Anyway, their match getting an 80, which is it's good enough. Good enough. And we do indeed have Logan Wolfsbane and Angry Gilmore defeating Mobstar and Public Enemy in 11:45 when Logan submitted Public Enemy with a Boston Crab. Obviously, Public Enemy, the weak link in the match. Unfortunately, the storyline also losing some heat as a result, which is not great. But we do still have another 2, technically 3 potential angles to boost that back up. So we're gonna just go for the usual promos. Want to make sure that storyline does not get penalized for that pay-per-view main event. Anyway, we move on to an 85 rated tag team match thrown together at the last minute as well. We have the Golden Goats defeating Princeton Price and Primetime Jack Pride in 9:54 when Zeus Maximilian pinned Primetime Jack Pride with a Thunderbolt. Davis, obviously, head and shoulders above everybody else. Jack Pride, weak link. Still got a 47 for himself, so it's not terrible. And then we got a 90 there from Davis. That might beat the main event. I said that a couple of matches had the potential. I thought the other one was going to do better, but we did keep Mobstar strong, and Public Enemy was involved. This one might beat it. Anyway, we move on to a 77 rated angle. Interesting. I mean, he was dreadful in this segment. I find that strange because he does have pretty good entertainment stats. He also struggled going off script, so maybe I guess when we're having interviews, it's probably a smart idea to actually script them. These sort of sit down interviews. But either way, Gary was superb, so he probably saved this angle quite a lot. But yeah, basically him just sort of talking about Graham Gorman. And I guess maybe Jurian puts over the fact that if Graham Gorman wins his match tonight, Graham Gorman, for winning his match last week, Graham Gorman has once again become the #1 contender. And of course, Gary Walker has a match tonight. Yeah, okay. Anyway, we move on to his match, getting a 66. So, technically not as good as Graham's match. And we have Gary Walker defeating Blue Dragon in 11:53 by pinfall with a pants pull sunset flip. Gary Walker making defense number 6 of the Canadian title. Just an impromptu sort of title defense, really. It's Blue Dragon. You know, Gary would be willing to put the title on the line against a guy like Blue Dragon that he knows is not going to win the title, not going to be able to beat him, essentially. But unfortunately, due to the involvement of Graham being at ringside, it's actually lost the storyline even more heat. But it's fine. It's fine. The mid-card title storyline's never going to be, super over. Alright, we then go into a 71 rated angle. Unfortunately, Jack Jackson here struggling without a script. Which is unfortunate because, I mean, it's a 71. He really could have done quite well. Maybe even 75 to 80, that sort of region. Which potentially would have gained him a little bit more popularity than this angle is going to do. But he is going to win the match up next. And it's not a bad match either. We get a 66 here. Where we have Jack Jackson defeating John Greed in 12:24 by pinfall with an implant DDT. That's a good match. And a good angle, good match. Hopefully Jack will get a nice popularity increase. He was at 44 popularity, so we'll definitely check that after this show. Alright, we then go straight into the Fatal 4-Way, sort of one half of the tag team competitors of the Fatal 4-Way tag team match at the pay-per-view. That was hard to think and speak. Anyway, 75 is pretty good. I think that was better. I think the other one got a 71? 72? Something like that. I can't remember. You guys can probably remember or go back and have a look in the video. Anyway, Jackpot Jordan defeating LA Star 2, Papa Swole, and Taylor Norton in 11:48 when Jackpot pinned Papa Swole with a cash-in. So, the crew not looking very good at the moment. Papa Swole taking a loss, Public Enemy taking a loss. This one, however, wasn't on purpose. Probably would have preferred it to have been LA Star 2. It doesn't matter. Anyway. Some very good in-ring performances there. We've got 70 from Taylor, 78 from Jackpot, and even a 65 there from LA Star 2. Very impressive. Alright, we then go into a 96 rated angle where we have Matty Faith and he cuts a promo onto the debuting David Stone, who is also out at ringside after his entrance music hit second. Obviously, Matty coming out, not actually knowing who was going to be his opponent. And then, of course, the future of Canadian wrestling, David Stone coming out, debuting his next-gen star gimmick, getting an initial rating of adequate. So, not the best sort of gimmick debut there, but Matty Faith working the crowd well, which is positive. And a 96 is Pretty damn good. Pretty damn good. And we got no pros or cons for Stone's gimmick. So that's actually a positive. It's a bit of a pro not having any negatives, if that makes sense. Alrighty, here we go. The main event. Oh, it's bombed. It's bombed hard. Okay, you know what? Fair enough. Fair enough, because obviously there's a negative chemistry penalty. But I think even without that, it was still not going to do above an 80. So, yeah, I mean, we kept him strong. The worst part is we kept Matty Face strong. He's got morale penalties, you know, with his issues that he has at the moment. And then on top of that, we get the David Stone and Matty Face just don't click. And it showed in their performance. Terrible stuff. Anyway, we do have David Stone pulling off a big upset on debut, defeating Matty Faith in 1931 by pinfall with a stone cutter following interference from Taylor Norton. During the match, we also had Brett Kyle distract Faith. So lots of interesting stuff happening there. And a 69, while it's a funny number, it is not a very funny. It's not. I know I'm laughing, but it's not a funny sort of main event match rating to actually get. And as you can see, with that, both storylines have actually lost heat. It might even be worth restarting this storyline. I don't want to do it, because we obviously had the really good angle. But if this was their first sort of meeting in the storyline, I'd probably just end it and then restart it. But I won't do that. I won't do it. Anyway, Matty Faith with a 65, which is dreadful. Absolutely dreadful for Matty Faith. He usually gets 80s. So that just goes to show how bad it is. And David Stone on debut, the future of Canadian wrestling, only getting a 56 in-ring performance. Let's have a look at the dirt sheet. Yeah, we got low morale. I mean, it was apparently increased due to the storyline heat for both. Even the tag title storyline. Probably because the match rating was going to be so low. So it actually, the high heat was above what the match was going to get originally anyway. So that would be an interesting way of looking at that. But the big penalty is the worker chemistry. And of course, we are still getting the announcer low experience together, which is bad. Hopefully this show is not going to lose us popularity in Ontario. I have a feeling it might do that. Yep, there we go. Our worst show in a pretty long time, I would say. We get a 79 overall show rating for this one. And as you can see, show lost us popularity in one region. We lost popularity in Ontario. Very unfortunate. Increased our popularity in 54 regions, which is good. But at the same time, it sucks. It sucks a little bit. Anyway, we move on. We're not going to dwell on it too much. At least we know they have negative chemistry, so we might do a triple threat match. We'll chuck Hernandez back in there maybe, and yeah, well, I guess we'll do a triple threat for Faith, Hernandez, and Stone. And then we'll just take Stone out of there at the end of the month. I mean, that's probably the best way of going about it, to be honest. Anyway, we've got Becca Barton. Very talented female wrestler. Well, she's not very talented, but she's good enough. Canadian, 38. Probably nearing time decline. Very good entertainment stats. Pretty over as well. I don't know. We don't have a women's division, so therefore we don't need to sign her. Anyway, we got somehow, I mean, obviously we know how because we upgraded in Mexico, but it's pretty funny seeing a 2.26 TV rating despite getting a 79 rated show and putting on an absolute stinker of a main event. It's pretty funny, but like I said, you know, we upgraded, so realistically, there we go. Anyway, you look at our competition, and they got a 93, so they were 14 points. A whole 14 points above us. And then we've got a 95 rated women's title match for the main event and a 97 rated semi-main event where we had Aaron Knight defeating Mr. Impact in a ladder match. They also had an 89 and an 87 on the same TV show. Very impressive. Much, much better than our show. Anyway, like I said, let's not dwell on it too much. Oh, no. I'll dwell on it now. We dropped down to 84. F's in the comments down below, guys. F's. Oh, what a fail. That main event was a utter failure. I absolutely loved seeing that blue number in that last episode. We've just ruined it. I know I'm being a little bit sarcastic because it really doesn't matter in the grand sort of scheme of things, but I'm assuming it'll probably go back with the pay-per-view. Hopefully it will. I mean, the only downside is we maybe lose a little bit of... Yeah, we lose a little bit in revenue by the way of gate receipts, but it doesn't matter. Anyway, we've got Charlie Corner and Deanna Desire both asking for pay rises. We'll give them what they want. Well, we won't actually. We'll give them 75% of what they want. And everybody changing body types there. Okay, so let's just keep advancing. Was there anything I needed to do? I don't think there was. Pretty crazy that Bruce the Giant weighed 600 pounds, apparently. That is very, very heavy. I mean, if you think about the Big Show's what, 7 foot? Maybe 7 foot. Apparently he's actually a little bit shorter than whatever they say, you know, he was back in the day. Yeah, when they announced him to the ring. Yeah, they also billed him at like 500 pounds quite a lot. And I'm pretty sure he said in like an interview that he only weighed between like 350 and 400 or something like that, 420 maybe. And that was when he was big. Of course, he lost heaps of weight and kind of got it like almost ripped for a big guy, you know, of his size. But definitely, you know, lost a lot of weight. Looked pretty good for a giant. Anyway, let's get into this next show, last show of the episode, and like I said, we got some decent sort of storyline progression as well. All right. So we're going to be naming the stable, which I'm looking forward to. I've already got the name. It's not exactly very creative. It's kind of, for lack of a better term, it's not underwhelming, but it's straightforward. And we'll also reveal the final member of the stable as well. It's going to be a little bit, I guess, off predictions for most of you guys. You probably won't exactly expect who I'm going to put in the stable. Anyway, we got Hank Whitman. Is he not being renegotiated with? Yeah, he's not being renegotiated with, which is interesting. It's pretty damn good. I mean, I've got to say, Hank and Zach would make a pretty similar type of pairing in regards to tag teams. I mean, he's quite good. The fact that he's not being renegotiated with makes me want to kind of sign him. I really like his render. Like, that's a solid picture there. Let's do it. Let's go in for him. Try 0. I mean, I'd like to get 0. I think we actually can get 0 when we offer 10-year contracts. Yeah. So the guys that have 0 popularity, I might have been better off offering the other guy I just signed. And then we have CWA going for Sandman Winks. That's an interesting signing. the current Mid-Atlantic champion. And he's kind of over in both Canada and the US. I'm not gonna go crazy for him. I'm not gonna sign him, to be honest. I think the other guy that we're actually just trying to sign, while he has lower star quality and charisma, could also potentially be better than Sandman, maybe. He's got some better sort of primary skills, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see. All right, so we've got ACPW increasing some of their production values. Pretty cool to see. How are they doing financially? Pretty badly. And that's, of course, because they don't run their TV show on... They run it on QTV. Or at least I think they do. Yeah, still on QTV. I mean, their events are held on, I think, I don't know actually, are they with Ondem? They might be with Ondem now. Let me actually go and have a look at that. I'm kind of curious. How would I look at that? We'll have to go into here. Yeah. Oh wait. Oh, that's APW. That's Australian Pro Wrestling. ACPW is what we're looking for. So yeah, they run their events on Ondem, but not their TV show, which I would have to assume is a pretty bad piece of business. I mean, Ondem runs in Quebec anyway, so it really just doesn't make any sense why they wouldn't do it, but each to their own, I guess. Anyway, backstage incidents, we got Angry Gilmore and David Stone. Oh my god. That is awesome. Yes. Angry Gilmore has taken David Stone under his wing as a protege. That is really, really good. You know what? That actually fits perfect. Angry Gilmore is going into a stable. He's going to be David Stone's manager. That was perfect. Hopefully this is... Yep, perfect. I mean, back to back, the protege's coming in. And this one, we've got John Greed passing on tips on using psychology to his protege, Charlie Corner. So Charlie getting a little bit extra psychology there, which he desperately needs. That's wicked. I'm really happy with that. Anyway, Mississauga is going to be our final destination for this episode. I have no idea what the main event's going to be. Anyway, let's have a quick look at Mr. Where is he? Charlie. 61. I mean, I have to say I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. Like I said, 47 popularity as well. The guy's doing some decent work. I might even give him a victory on TV here. Let's book that match. Let's go Charlie taking on... Who can he verse? Maybe Cooper, but Cooper's got... Actually, you know what? They're actually pretty similar popularity. There we go. This is going to be a TV match. A TV victory in a singles match for Charlie Corner. You wouldn't believe it if I, said it maybe 10 episodes ago, but here we are. Charlie Corner picking up a big victory. I also realized it's CC versus CC. So that's also pretty funny. But anyway, we move on. Alright, so what are we doing for the main event? Like I said, I don't really have much of an idea for what I want to do. You know what? Because that last main event was so bad, I'm going to do a tag team main event. And we're going to have Maddie Faith. This match should be pretty good. Maddie Faith teaming up with... We'll go Mobster. We'll go Mobster on his team to take on Logan Wolfsbane And where is he? Yeah, David Stone. He actually gained a lot of popularity. He's up to 71. He gained 3 points of popularity from that win. But what about, we didn't check popularity. I forgot to do that. 93. Hold on. Did Mobstar gain popularity? Mobstar has gained popularity this month. He gained 1 point. And he literally just lost that tag team match. I know he didn't lose it by taking the fall, but he was in the match on the losing team. So that's strange, man. I know the angle was really good, but I didn't think it would be that good. And Logan didn't actually gain anything, so that's a weird one. That is a weird one. Anyway, with that, being the fact, let's have a look at Maddie Faith as well. And Maddie gained a point as well, despite losing. I'm not complaining. I love it. I absolutely love it. It's perfect. Let's go. Yeah, we'll go this match. 20 minutes. We will keep Logan strong. But let's have Mobstar beat David. And that'll be the end of this match. Let's make it tainted. Doesn't need to be decisive. It's David Stone. Here's the future. And let's have an interference on David by Mainstream Hernandez. That's actually that can be the finish. This will just get, Hernandez involved in that storyline. I think it'll be really good. Really, really good. I didn't keep him strong. Let's keep Logan strong. There we go. Happy days. All right, that's a solid main event. That should do really well. Obviously, a lot better than the 69 that we got last show. All right, what else are we doing? So earlier in the show, we're going to have the David Stone stable angle. And I guess we can throw Angry Gilmore in there now that he's the manager, or the soon-to-be manager. David will be the leader, but obviously the deputy will be Angry Gilmore. He'll be kind of second in charge. But it's going to have a very interesting stable name. Part of me would kind of want to make Angry the leader of the stable. But it's just not going to really make sense unless we do David. So let me do that angle now. Let's go David. Let's go Angry Gilmore. Let's go for Brett. Let's go for Taylor. And let's go for Chip Martin. You might be wondering, why Chip? Why Chip? I'll show you in a second. Anyway. David Stone announces his new stable called Next Gen. Like I said, it's simple. Obviously, his gimmick is Next Gen Superstar. And if I show you Chip Martin's profile, we also have a little direct sort of nickname for him as well. And his nickname is Next Gen. So quite a few little things coming together there. And we've got Chip Martin in a stable now as well. So it's going to benefit him. Hopefully, we'll have the same sort of effect that it's actually had on Charlie Corner. And I guess we could also have, there's Chip. Unfortunately, Chip's not actually the protege of Angry Gilmore. That would be a little bit better, but at the same time, it doesn't matter. Luckily he's still got a mentor. Otherwise, that would suck a little bit. But yeah, it's fine. And we'll probably make Chip's manager Angry Gilmore as well. We might not have him manage Young and Wasted. I don't think he's exactly needed. But then at the same time, he could really help Young and Wasted, get their angles over just that little bit more. I was kind of hoping to maybe have them do their own thing because I've really liked seeing their sort of natural progression. Anyway, the rest of the show, let's go for a tag team match. Let's have the Crew take on the LA Stars once again. And then let's have the Moneymakers take on Young and Wasted. So again, furthering this whole Fatal 4-Way sort of storyline we're going with at the moment. Harper Swall's going to get his victory back in the match, which they lost at the pay-per-view just in the last episode. That's pretty good. We might actually put this angle before that tag team match. Actually, no, we'll put it before this Young and Wasted match. So Young and Wasted taking on the Moneymakers. You know what? Let's give this 20. Actually, we'll give it 16. Only need 16. Only need 16. Taylor's going to get a big victory over the current tag team champions. Great stuff. We'll chuck a slow build in there as well. And that should be all fine. Non-title match, of course. And there we go. All right. What are our other matches? Let me chuck that one in between as well. All right, what do we need? What do we need to do? Let's have another tag. No, we'll go a 6-man. Interesting 6-man tag. Gonna be Aldous teaming up with, where is he? Mutant and Aussie Goldstein to take on the team of Masked Patriot and where are they? Red, white, and blue. So anti-Canada coming in there. And a big victory for Aussie Goldstein. It appears he is falling further and further into the darkness. I think we can call the match as well, which is nice. We won't make that storytelling. We'll make the other match our storytelling match. This one here. Not really too fussed about this match. Again, it's just kind of a repeat anyway, so it really doesn't matter. For this angle, let's go for Aldous. Let's go for Mutant and Aussie in there as well. I think we will, seeing as there's 3 members, we'll script all 3 and give some success to both Goldstein and Blackfriar, because they are actually in a storyline. There we go. I like that. I like that a lot. All right, what else? We need some more matches. What are our other storylines? What haven't I really touched on? I suppose I haven't really touched on this Prince storyline. Let's just go a singles match. The usual. Zeus Maximilian taking on Princeton Price. And it's going to be a victory there for Princeton. Obviously, no outside interference in this one as well. Going to be decisive. Davis not going to get involved in his tag team partners match. We might actually give... no, we'll give Davis an angle. I guess Davis and Zeus can both be in it. Princeton off screen. But there we go. Double entertainment. Double success. And we'll script it as well. Doesn't really matter too much, you know. It's fine. And that'll go to the Prince of the Coalition. Nice. And we're essentially good to go. Do I want to give... Let's give Charlie Corner an angle. We've got 6 minutes left. Charlie Corner, entertainment, by himself. Actually, or should we chuck in Matty Faith? Part of me wants to chuck in Matty Faith because he's not actually on the show. Well, he's on the show, but he's... Oh, actually, hold on. We don't have a pre-main event angle. Okay, we're going to have to... Where is that match? We're going to have to lower this down. Sorry, boys. Going back down to 12 minutes. And we're going to have to chuck in an angle. So let's go for... Logan. And... No, let's not do that. Because he's already got an angle. Let's go Mobstar and Matty Faith. Yeah. Just these two. Both on entertainment. No success there for them. Actually... Yeah, we'll chuck the other guys in. So Logan and then we need David. They'll both be off screen so they can be, I don't know, backstage or whatever, cutting their angle. That'll be pre-main event. And then I think no, we won't be able. Never mind. I was going to say we can still give an angle to Charlie, but we're not going to be able to, unfortunately. Unfortunately for Charlie, but, he gets a win on TV. That's kind of all that matters. Pre-show, what are we doing on the pre-show? We need a Davis-Gilmore match. They can take on Asono and Willie. Or Jack. We'll go Jack. I want to use Willie, but Jack just needs it that little bit more. Like, I am kind of almost tempted to chuck Jack down to OWC. He kind of belongs in the developmental, not going to lie. But we'll try at least... Try to use him a little bit. The issue there. Ed. That sucks. We'll go Alexander there. And then we need another pre-show match. This one we can give to Graham. Go Graham and Hernandez, maybe. Taking on... maybe we'll go Gary and Jackson. Yeah, why not? There we go. 12 minutes. We'll give the win to Hernandez because he's probably lost a little bit of momentum recently. And I think this can actually be called as well. There we go. Give that to Robinson as well. Just save a little bit of money on the pre-show, and we're good to go. Let's run the final TV show of the episode. And we have our newest stable as well. Don't want that one to be there, though. Where are my angles? Yeah, this one needs to be... I got these mixed up for some reason. But let's bring that one back. Luckily, I checked. Luckily. Yeah, it's kind of all over the place. Let me chuck... This one needs to go down to pre-main event. That one's fine there. And that one's fine there. Okay. We look good. I was kind of freaking out for a second there, but I think everything's all fine. All right, let's run it now. All right, we start off with a 73 rated pre-show match where we have Graham Gorman and Mainstream Hernandez defeating Gary Walker and Jack Jackson in 12-19 when Mainstream Hernandez pinned Jack with a super kick. Graham was head and shoulders above everybody else. Jack the weak link, apparently. We also have negative tag team chemistry for Gary Walker and Jack Jackson. So these two don't work well as a team. That's why we use the pre-show. I love it. All right, second pre-show tag match, getting a 76, a little bit better than the other one. Got Davis Wayne Newton and Angry Gilmore, of course. Very storied rivalry between those two. They defeat Yuta Sono and Primetime Jack Pride in 11:35 when Davis pinned Yuta with a fisherman suplex. Yeah, it's a really good match. Happy with that. Hopefully help these two younger guys out a little bit, especially Jack, because he needs it. All right, we kick off the TV show with an 83 rated angle from the Golden Goats, and of course, Davis is kind of trying to, hype Zeus up a little bit because he obviously wants him to beat Princeton Price, who, Davis says has been going around backstage, kind of getting it under everybody's skin, saying that he is the prince, soon to be king of the coalition. And Davis, is the fans' unofficial king of the coalition. They call him the GOAT for a reason. And he's none too pleased with Princeton Price. That's a pretty good match between, Zeus and Princeton there. We get a 76, and we do indeed have Princeton Price defeating Zeus Maximilian in 9:55 by submission. We got Zeus with a 68 and a 66 there for Princeton as well. Pretty similar rating and a pretty good match coming out of that, considering their in-ring performances. So, yeah, I'm pretty pleased. Yeah, I don't think that's definitely not a bad rating to get, considering how they performed. All right, we then go into an 81 rated angle. Obviously, a little bit lower than you would kind of expect if it was just Aldous by himself. But obviously, we got Forces of Darkness, possibly. Like I said, Aussie's slowly creeping further and further into the darkness. The golden light, if you will, is starting to fade in the heart of Aussie Goldstein, and the darkness is starting to really corrupt his mind. And it's going to be pretty evident going into this 6-man tag, which does pretty well, getting a 78 rating. We have Aussie Goldstein and Disciples of Darkness 3 defeating Anti-Canada in 11:50 when Aussie Goldstein pinned Blue Dragon with a golden shower. Obviously, Aldous head and shoulders above everybody else in the match because he's a beast. And then we had Americana, who seemed off his game as well. Overall, it's a really good match. Considering, two of these guys are pretty low down the card, if you will. Alrighty, we then go into an 86 rated angle. So a very impressive angle here. Very impressive. It is only rated on David Stone and Angry Gilmore's entertainment. But obviously everybody else is appearing. And we have David Stone announcing his new stable. And it is, of course, called Next Generation, or Next Gen, if you will. And of course, he announces the official members. He says that Angry Gilmore is going to be his, I guess, mentor, for one, because he is actually his mentor. But he's also going to be the, I guess, stable confidant, the guy behind the scenes that sort of draws up the master plan. He's kind of the, look, I don't want to say the puppet master, but he's going to have the strategy. I guess he would kind of be maybe a little bit similar to Arn Anderson, what he's doing with Cody Rhodes at the moment in AEW. Even though Cody, lost his title and all that type of stuff, this is kind of the more positive version of that type of, elder statesman with a sort of younger worker. And then, of course, they also put over the fact that the Young and Wasted tag team are a part of Next Gen, and then the hottest rising star, Chip Martin, coming into the stable as well. Possibly maybe to have a little bit of tag team action with Angry Gilmore. And then also potentially David Stone. Like I said, we might try and get Chip to be the sort of Charlie Corner to David's, Matty Faith leadership role with them sort of tag teaming together sometimes. Anyway. Really good angle. That's really going to help all these guys and obviously help David Stone quite a bit as well. David improvised well and Angry Gilmore was fantastic. Also improvising well. Alrighty, we then go into a 78 rated tag team match where we have Young and Wasted defeating the Moneymakers in 11:39 when Taylor Norton pinned Stephen Parker with a tumbleweed splash. Great match. As you can see, Taylor's starting to edge his way out from the sort of similarities between him and Brett Kyle now. When you look at these two, Brett kind of seems like the more heelish of the two, whereas Taylor seems kind of the more happy sort of baby face. Just based on their pictures here. They do look that way. So we could always split them up down the line and have sort of maybe an Edge and Christian type scenario where we push one, maybe the other one doesn't go or reach the heights, if you will, that the other one does reach. And it's kind of looking like Taylor will be that edge, if you will. Anyway, big win for the money for the Young and Wasted over the Moneymakers. Getting pretty late. I'm getting pretty tired. Anyway, 78's very solid for a tag match. They've versed each other many times before. We know what they're capable of, and yeah, nothing else to say. Looking forward to the Fatal 4-Way match. Alright, we then go into a 65 rated match where we have Charlie Corner defeating Cooper Christie in 11:45 by pinfall with a corner cutter. They got a 65 and they have negative chemistry together. Charlie and Cooper don't seem to click and are made for an awkward bout. So they literally don't click with each other, and they still manage to pull off a 65. That's a very impressive mid-card match with that negative penalty. I'm very pleased Very, very pleased with Charlie Corner. He's doing great work. Obviously, Cooper carried him, but Charlie's in there. He's in the mid card now. Safely can say that he's in the mid card. All right, the second last match on the show, we got another tag team match here, getting a 66, where we have the Crew defeating the LA Stars in 12:28, and Papa Swole pinned LA Star 2 with the pounce. And of course, we had the Crew getting their victory back from the pay-per-view loss, like I said, but basically getting some more. I guess they're trying to get some more momentum back as they go into that Fatal 4-Way match. But we also might have some other weird, wacky, I don't know, twists and turns along the way, potentially, in the go-home show. But yeah, that's a good win. Happy with that. LA Star 2 actually outperforming LA Star 1, which I find very strange, but there we go. Alrighty, we then go into a 91 rated angle from Mobstar and Maddie Faith, of course. One half of the tag team match in the main event. And yeah, 91's pretty good. Both gaining heat, and of course, they're both cutting angles directed at their opponents in their storyline. So obviously, Mobstar cutting it on Logan, Maddie Faith cutting a promo onto David Stone, saying that he wants to get some pride and confidence back by teaming up with Mobstar tonight, taking on David. Of course, you know, Maddie's coming off some pretty big losses. He lost at the pay-per-view against Logan, so potentially a little bit more, you know, revenge, if you will, for that loss. And then last week, losing to David Stone. So he wants to get that back, and it's a pretty good way, or a pretty good tag team match to have as our main event. Yeah, Mobstar doing a masterful job improvising interactions, and Maddie Faith was superb without a script to follow. The main event, it does about as expected. We get an 87 rated main event here. So obviously, the involvement of Mobstar and Logan Wolfsbane, making sure that this match doesn't turn out to be a stinker like the last one did with Maddie and David. So I'm pretty happy with that. Anyway, we have Mobstar and Maddie Faith defeating Logan Wolfsbane and David Stone in 1934, when Mobstar pinned David with a flattener DDT following interference from Mainstream Hernandez. Hernandez getting involved, costing David Stone a big big main event level TV match here against the unified world champion as well. So you can imagine a win for this team with David in there. You know, he would have pretty good shout of potentially getting a title shot sometime, or at least being the number one contender at some stage pretty soon. But yeah, he's lost due to the hands, or at the hands, of Mainstream Hernandez. All right, we finished the show. We get an 85 for this show here. So I think that's actually the same rating that we got for the first TV show of this episode. As you can see, we don't get a popularity increase in Ontario, but we do get the other 55 regions. And of course, with Mexico now on the broadcaster, I'm hoping the Mexico popularity has grown. Hopefully, after next episode, we might actually be able to put the events onto Mexican pay-per-view broadcasters. So that'd be really sweet. Hopefully next episode, but if not next, maybe the episode after. There we go. Sandman Winks being hired by CWA, and we get a 2.38 TV rating this time. A lot higher than the last one, considering that was even a lot higher due to the, you know, upgraded broadcaster. This one actually a true reflection of what it should be. With a 1.785 million is what I'm trying to say. A lot more viewers. Good stuff. Happy with that. All in all, it was a pretty good show. Nowhere near as good as CWA's show, though. Interesting. This show rated a 96, but I think this show wasn't as good as their last TV show. Once again, going with the women's title match in the main event. Obviously, not a lot of, you know, what would be the word? difference, I guess. Difference wasn't the word that I was looking for, but there's not a lot of variety. Variety is the word I was looking for. Not a lot of variety to the main events that CWA puts on TV. They are very, very similar, pretty consistently, throughout the series so far. Anyway, let's check size. We're up to 60 in Saskatchewan, 74 in Manitoba as well, 54 in Alberta, and we're finally above 40 for Maritimes and British Columbia. Let's have a look at Mexico, though. 23s, I think we needed... Let's go take a look. We may as well. I know I like to keep the episode shorter, but this is pretty important. Let's see what we actually need, because I've actually forgotten. All right, this is the one we eventually want to get on. So 30 popularity in 6 regions, with big coverage as well. But obviously we'll have to wait a little while until we get on that one. But it was... That one's 34 popularity, but I think there was this one. Yeah, this one's only 22 in 3 regions, so we're literally 3 points away. 22 in 3. Yeah, so we're 3 points away from these regions. Probably not going to be next episode then. The fact that we need 3 popularity might just be a little bit too much to gain in one episode. But the episode after, so yeah, that's a pretty big thing to see. Finances are still looking good. We spent a lot of money this month, obviously, but it's all going good. We've got some new signings coming in. High Flying Hawaiian, Island Boy Apollo. We've also got a new developmental worker coming in, of course. Nuki Brown was his name, I think. Let's have a look at the developmental as well before we leave. Doesn't look like they've actually signed anyone, but there is Nuki Brown. And he's going to be down there, like I said, for the rest of the year until we can actually sign his tag team partner. Yeah, there we go. Okay, I think that's pretty much it for the episode. Let's take a little quick look at David before we end it. Still at 71. Was he at 71 or 72? I guess we can't find out, but he's up 3 points, which is nice. Let's check Angry Gilmore. Still at 79, which, is unfortunate. Who else have we got? I mean, Goldstein's at 80. It's not too bad. Taylor's at 66. Maddie's at 86. Let's check Logan, actually. That's one I was worried about. No, still 92. Okay, we kept him strong. He keeps his popularity. That's what we like to see. Yeah, apart from that, I mean, there's no one else. Mobstar, hopefully... Well, he's, of course, still going to be at 93. It's pretty crazy. I'm surprised he actually went up to 93. That's very impressive. Anyway, that is going to be the end of the episode, guys. Please make sure you smash a like on the video if you haven't already. I know most of you already have, but yeah, please do if you haven't. It does help the videos get sort of seen or picked up by the YouTube algorithm that little bit more. And you guys have been smashing the likes recently. And looks like the algorithm's been doing its job because everybody's watching. And looks like we're getting a few new viewers in as well. So if you're a new viewer and you're watching to the end here, make sure you subscribe to the channel and click the notification bell and turn that on. So you'll be notified when the episodes come out. Apart from that, just a little thing I wanted to put in. I am thinking about releasing some Call of Duty videos as well. I'm going to be playing Cold War. And I used to be quite good at Call of Duty back in the day. Obviously a long time ago now. Probably when I was, a teenager. And that was easily 10 plus years ago. But just want to play some Call of Duty, and I figure I may as well upload it because, somebody might be interested in watching it, and, some of you guys might actually enjoy it. So it's going to be there hopefully in the coming week or so. I'm probably going to do maybe like a road to max level, which I think is 155. Either road to 155 or road to dark matter camo, which is I think it's the best camo you can get with challenges in the game. So yeah, either one of those two. Make sure you look out for it. And apart from that, guys, as always, take it easy and goodbye.